These are days when many are discouraged. In the 93 years of my life, depressions have come and gone. Prosperity has always returned and will again.
A crisis isn't a catastrophe. A crisis is a redistribution of wealth. Money doesn't disappear. It simply changes hands. That's exactly how John Rockefeller saw it. While most people feared economic downturns, Rockefeller knew that every crisis was just another opportunity to earn, not to lose. So let's take a closer look at the financial principles Rockefeller followed to come out of crises richer, not poorer. First, the ones who truly go broke aren't those who lose money, but those who lack structure. If you see a crisis as a problem, you've already lost. Panic and fear will paralyze you, even though in reality you can't control what's happening globally. Prices will rise, money will lose value, jobs will shrink, salaries will fall. That's the key lesson from Rockefeller. We all know what a crisis is. We can picture it clearly and understand what it leads to, which means we can turn that chain of events into fuel. While others panic, you act. If you've dreamed of starting your own business, now is the time. Crises dissolve competition. Even the biggest players make desperate, irrational decisions trying to stay afloat. And in doing so, they lose customers, confidence, and market share. That's your window of opportunity. The same goes for investing. If you've been hesitating, it's now or never. The cash sitting in your account or wallet is losing value by the second, and it will never regain its worth. But a stock that's dropped in price today might double in value tomorrow. Real estate, cryptocurrency, precious metals. That's where the foundation of your future wealth lies. Start by building your structure from scratch. Look at what you already have, the exact amount of money you possess, and decide how to make it work for you. Create a clear plan with big and small steps. And most importantly, act every single day. Take at least one step forward. Rockefeller's second lesson is about listening to the whispers. In his time, John D. Rockefeller had to sift through dozens of newspapers and spend hours in conversations just to extract a single drop of truly valuable information. The kind people didn't shout about, the kind they whispered. Today, things are much easier. The internet and social media give us instant access to endless streams of knowledge. But that abundance comes with a trap. You still shouldn't listen to the loudest voices or chase flashy headlines. Remember, the information that can make you money during a crisis is rarely where everyone's looking. It might be a small, overlooked video with just a handful of views, a brief political statement that most ignored, or even an expensive course that only a few can afford. But that contains the insights others will miss. The same applies to new skills and professions. Look at the rise of AI. It's just gaining momentum, yet most people still underestimate its potential. At the same time, trades like electricians or plumbers, professions long dismissed as ordinary, may soon skyrocket in demand as the world changes. Now take this thought and structure it. What are your next steps? Will you learn a new trade? Pick up a new skill and re-enter the job market from a stronger position? Or maybe scale your idea. Find a way to turn a future opportunity into your business today. The next thing Rockefeller teaches is discipline. Discipline with money is everything. He used to say, the first to sink is the one with the most holes in their boat. If a crisis is on the horizon, start patching your holes now. Loans, debt, unnecessary spending, those are your leaks. Budgeting is your lifeboat. It might sound simple, even boring, but that's where real strength lies. Set aside one full day to optimize your expenses. Challenge yourself to cut at least $100 this week. That's money you can redirect into paying off debt or investing. Then go back to Rockefeller's first lesson, build your structure. If your plan includes starting a business or saving for an investment, squeeze that capital out of your current spending. Be radical if you have to. Eat less, save more, invest smarter. It may sound harsh, but look ahead. Remember what a crisis brings. Cuts will happen, prices will rise, and sacrifices are inevitable. The difference is that now you're acting ahead of time, not out of fear, but to come out of the storm richer than before. And if you're ready for bold decisions, then Rockefeller's next money lesson is exactly what you need. This next lesson is about psychological safety. Most of our problems don't come from the economy or from politicians. They come from our own minds. If you program yourself for success and learn to take risks or make bold decisions without fear, you'll reach your goals. But if you panic, if you can't keep a cool head or stick to your plan, you'll start reacting emotionally to every external trigger. You'll chase comfort, give in to impulses, and eventually lose. But once you become psychologically strong, everything changes. You become an anchor, someone others naturally trust and gravitate toward. And that's exactly what people search for in times of crisis: stability. When you embody that stability, you stop chasing opportunities. They start coming to you. It becomes easier to build a business, to form connections, and to grow your influence. John Rockefeller understood this perfectly. He believed loyalty isn't bought with money. It's earned through predictability. That's why, even in chaos, he maintained order. When the markets crashed, his company paid on time. When others laid off workers, he kept his key people. When banks shut down, his credit remained spotless. People saw him as an island of stability in a storm, and that bond was stronger than any bonus or paycheck. Because loyalty born from trust is a form of wealth most people never understand. Rockefeller's next rule is more of a trick: destroy in public, build in private. When everything collapses, companies, markets, assets, most people make one of two mistakes. Some cling to the old, afraid to lose status. Others rush to loudly build something new. Rockefeller did neither. He let the world see his losses. He didn't resist the image of failure. He played it. When Standard Oil was broken apart by antitrust laws, the world celebrated its end. Newspapers declared his empire destroyed. But that collapse was just smoke and mirrors. Behind the scenes, Rockefeller had already reorganized his assets into dozens of independent companies, all still working for his interests, just quieter, smarter, and more autonomous. The result? The stock prices of these broken companies skyrocketed, and Rockefeller's fortune multiplied several times over. He lost publicly to win structurally. That's the essence of this principle. Public defeat is often cheaper than public defense. When you defend the old, you waste energy fighting perception. When you let go, you create space to maneuver. The crowd loses interest, power stops watching, and you get time to rebuild from the rubble. Psychology plays a huge role here. People love to see the mighty fall. It comforts them. So while they're busy discussing your collapse, you quietly lay the foundations for your comeback. Competitors relax, thinking the threat is gone. And then, when all eyes are elsewhere, you return, not as who you were, but as the one who now controls the entire field from the shadows. It sounds like a game, but it's pure strategy. Whatever your current status is, if you're standing on the edge of a crisis, let it go. Because climbing the next mountain is always easier without the weight of the last one.